Seahawks versus Bills. Wow, that was a really tough one to watch. And once again, for the Seahawks, I'm being left with questions about whether we've got the right head coach. There was no discipline in the tackling game, no discipline from the players. I mean, the Seahawks straight up played like they were thugs out there today. You know, we got Geno Smith throwing a ball at a player's head. You got Hall and Reed fighting on the field and then on the sideline. You got a tripping penalty. I mean, it was just straight up thug behavior from the Seahawks today. And for me, all of those kinds of problems point back to the same thing: leadership. Where's the leadership on this team? The Legion of Boom had tremendous chemistry and leadership from Cam Chancellor that trickled down to Richard Sherman and Bobby Wagner, Earl Thomas at times. I mean, Michael Bennett at times. Like, they actually understood leadership. When the Seahawks would get a little bit chippy in their games, when the Legion of Boom Seahawks, that is, would get a little chippy in their games, you would see them get together on the sideline. They'd start to have some chemistry. They'd work some stuff out. They'd all get together and start jumping up and down and whatever, right? You would see that. The 2024 Seahawks, I don't see any of that. It just looks like a mess. It looks like everyone's angry at everybody. It looks sloppy. It's a lack of discipline, lack of leadership. And to me, that all goes right back to the head coach. There was another coaching issue. There was bad tackling. Look, these guys know how to tackle. They're NFL players. But for some reason, week in and week out with the Seahawks, they're not wrapping up. They're getting pushed out of their lanes really easily. When they've got a hold of somebody, they're letting go. It's the same issues week in and week out. And once again, that comes back to coaching. These guys know how to tackle. They're just not doing it right. And so why aren't we doing tackling drills throughout the week? Why aren't we working on it, making it a point of emphasis? Another coaching issue: predictable offense by the Seahawks. This offense worked really great for UW last year. It's not working in the NFL. You can't just keep running that Huskies offense against NFL defenses. That's not going to work. Lots of routes where the Seahawks receivers, they'll run out and then they'll just kind of sit down. It's too easy for a defense to just wait and sit on that and jump the route or jump the ball or whatever. You're making it way too easy, way too predictable. It's way too hard for your receivers to get separation in these incredibly simplistic offenses that we're running. And then big time coaching issues, poor strategic decisions. In the first half, while it was pouring rain, the Seahawks intercept the ball. Okay, now they got the ball on the 2-yard line or whatever it was. They were inside of the 5. They got the ball there. They managed to not score, so they get all the way to a 4th down. The score is 7-3. And they decide to go for it. Look, kick the damn field goal. The Bills just stuffed you 3 plays in a row. What makes you think you're going to get through on the 4th one? And I don't know what the play was going to be because Geno ended up having his foot stepped on and he fell down. Kick the damn ball, make it a 1-point game, and then the rest of the half plays out a lot differently all of a sudden. Butterfly effect would have potentially had a big impact on that. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think the Bills are the better team. I do think that they probably were going to win that game regardless, but there was a lot of opportunities for the Seahawks to at least make that game a lot more competitive and a lot closer, and they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. After that turnover on downs, the Bills got the ball back. Josh Allen's going down the field, working the offense down the field. We get down to 40 seconds left in the half. It's a 2nd down, and Mike McDonald calls a timeout. I get wanting to get the ball back. I get that you're already in a position where you're like, okay, we're probably giving up a field goal, at least on this drive, and maybe if we get the ball back, we can go put some points on so that, the damage isn't so bad, type of thing. I get that. It's pouring rain. We're under 40 seconds to go. It's only 2nd down. There's no reason to believe that you're actually going to get the ball back. And if you do get the ball back and they do end up punting to us, now you're going to try and go the length of the field with no timeouts in the pouring rain when your offense hasn't been playing well so far. No, all you did by calling a timeout was you helped the Bills. Once again, poor strategic coaching decision. And then late in the game, poor strategic coaching decision. Why the hell were the starters still out there most of the way through the 4th quarter, down to 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter, 6 minutes, whatever it was? Why the hell were the starters still out there? It's 31-10. It's a 21-point game at that point. It gets to a 4th and 19. According to ESPN Analytics, the Bills had a 99.9% chance of winning the game at that point in time. Seahawks commit a delay of game penalty, get knocked back 5 yards. Now it's 4th and 24. Now you sent out the punting unit? If you were willing to punt the ball away anyways, and you had already conceded the game, you already knew that they weren't going to win, why'd you have the starters out there in the first place? Why hadn't you already pulled the starters? Why hadn't you already conceded the game and just gone to a running game or put the backups in and let the backups get some play time and see what they can do. Like, what the hell was the thought process there? There was no logic to keeping them in just to pull them at 4th and 24. It shows me that you don't really know what you're doing. You're kind of making it up as you go. You're making it up on the fly. And all of this does bring me some questions about the rookie head coach, Mike Macdonald. I want to be patient with him because I get that he's a first-time head coach. The Seahawks had the opportunity to hire Dan Quinn. Remember, Quinn got hired after Macdonald. Schneider interviewed both, and I get that Schneider wanted to get away from the Pete Carroll tree, and he wanted to get away from the Pete Carroll way of doing things, the Pete Carroll era, and I get that Quinn is, a descendant of the Carroll tree. But right now, the Commanders are about to be 6-2, assuming they don't screw up the end of this game. Commanders are about to be 6-2. The Seahawks are 4-4. Commanders are leading their division. Seahawks just dropped to second place and are only a game up from last place in a not competitive division, like a competitive division, but a not good division, to be honest. A very underperforming division. I mean, for crying out loud, the Cardinals are leading the division at 4-4. At some point, maybe Jody Allen needs to look at John Schneider and wonder, do we have the right GM? Because you had a chance to hire Quinn, to the point where Quinn in an interview said that, hey, I'll take the Seahawks job or the Commanders job, whichever one comes first. And the Seahawks ended up hiring Mike Macdonald, and then the Commanders jumped on Dan Quinn. You had the opportunity, and you didn't take it, and Quinn's team is looking really damn good. The Seahawks are looking okay at best. I mean, the definition of okay, they're 4-4. I get that Mike Macdonald's a rookie, and kind of regardless of what the record is at the end of the year, there's a lot of leadership things, strategic coaching things that he needs to clean up by the end of the year. Otherwise, I think maybe the Seahawks should be looking for a new head coach this offseason.